Gamescom has come and gone, and with it a slew of new announcements, including new additions to Google Stadia's game lineup, a host of announced titles from the opening night of the event, and Sony finally buys Insomniac? All of this and more will be explored in this week's Video Games Are Back edition of The Rundown. Earlier this week, Google showcased yet another Stadia Connect to reveal a handful of new titles that are coming to the platform, some by launch, others sometime next year. The new additions include Watch Dogs Legion, Elder Scrolls Online, Attack on Titan 2 Final Battle, Grid, Samurai Showdown, Farming Simulator 19, Superhot, Mortal Kombat 11, Destroy All Humans, Windjammers 2, Orcs Must Die 3, Kine, and Cyberpunk 2077. It's a solid lineup, and it looks like they're daring people to try and notice any input latency by putting up precise input fighting games like Mortal Kombat and Samurai Showdown. Also, there's rumors going around that Orcs Must Die 3 will be timed exclusive to the platform. Honestly, I feel like this shows that they're trying their damnedest to not just make Stadia a service like many people want to believe, but its own gaming platform to compete with the big three. I'm starting to see why they aren't going with a Netflix-like subscription service out of the gate. And locking in a slot for Cyberpunk 2077 means that they are willing to throw some weight around to get people on the platform. Speaking of Cyberpunk 2077, CD Projekt Red confirms they'll be releasing a new 15-minute gameplay demo next week. This will be the demo that was shown behind closed doors at E3 a few months back, and then again at this week's Gamescom. The demo will be showcasing the Pacifica Area District in the game's Night City location. They claim the demo will be shown on August 30th. At this stage, I'm not expecting them to showcase any more significant chunks of the game after the 48-minute demo we got around this time last year. It was quite impressive. That being said, I still have a few questions regarding the game's change in activities when nighttime rolls around, and the consequences in the decisions you make, good or bad, as the story unfolds. Doubt these questions will be answered in a 15-minute demo, but I'll be checking it out regardless. While we're continuing to ride this wave of Gamescom news, on the opening night of Gamescom earlier this week, a live-stream press event held by Jeff Keighley showcased some brand new unannounced titles that are currently in development. The 2-hour show revealed games such as Everspace 2, Kerbal Space Program 2, Erica, an interactive thriller, which is now available, and more. As well as showing off just a bit more Death Stranding, which now allows us to make Norman Reedus urinate on command. Also mechanics like rocking BB, that's our baby in the jar, to calm them down. They also revealed that Jeff himself is going to be in the game, but somehow being voiced by Matt Mercer? So I kinda look at Gamescom like the E3 after E3, since it's an event that's nearly as big and as well regarded as E3 itself. That being said, there weren't a hell of a lot of new announcements, much like E3, which makes me wonder how much longer big events like this will be around. Of the big three console giants, only Microsoft held an event, and it seemed rather subdued. Also, if I were Jeff, I'd be kinda pissed, as apparently only his likeness was good enough to be in the game. But who knows, maybe he opted out of that himself, which would be something that I would do. Also this week, Respawn Entertainment CEO Vince Zampella issued an apology to players of the now infamous Apex Legends. To catch everyone up to speed, a heated exchange took place on the game's subreddit over the price of the Iron Crown event's loot boxes. Players expressed criticism in the way that you'd expect over the internet, and a few Respawn developers responded in the not-so-customer service-friendly way, calling players asshats and freeloaders. Players once again responded to this in the way that you'd expect over the internet, which forced the CEO's hand in issuing an apology, promising that they will aim to do better and be better, and that they don't take kind of death threats and threats against families. So this one left me with some mixed feelings. As someone that has worked in customer service before, I can understand the feeling of having everything thrown at you with no means of recourse or even a way to defend yourself. And if you're not properly trained for it, well, we're only human, and human beings have a breaking point, some more durable than others. A key factor that many seem to forget. That being said, name calling simply won't get the job done. You just add more fuel to the fire. Also, if you have to clarify something immediately after you say it in hopes that it won't get taken as an insult, then perhaps you actually shouldn't say it at all. But I also agree with standing up against any type of threat. You have the right to defend yourself. And our last news topic of the day, Sony finally acquires Insomniac as a first-party studio under the PlayStation umbrella. The announcement came in from Sony via a Twitter post with a follow-up detailing the decision by Insomniac Games CEO Ted Price. He talks about how this change doesn't necessarily feel like a change at all, as they've been with Sony working on creative properties for the past 20 years, and that it feels more like a homecoming than a welcome. Insomniac has been with Sony since the original Spyro the Dragon in 1998, up to the 2018 critically acclaimed Spider-Man. I'm gonna be real for a second. This feels like one of those friends who have been romantically involved with someone for ages, but they haven't grown the hell up yet and called the damn thing official yet, even though it may as well be. And when they finally do it, your reaction isn't, "I'm happy for you," it's, "What the hell took so long?" Tangent aside, hopefully this solidifies Insomniac's place in the industry and opens doors for them to create brand new games on a much higher budget. I also imagine they're hard at work on the sequel to Spider-Man at this stage. And that brings us to the end of another episode of The Rundown. The news has been hot this week since it may as well have been an E3 Lite that took place, but these used gaming heavy hitters are finally starting to rev up and I'm looking forward to it. My wallet, however, is not. You can find links to all these stories in the description below, as well as links to Twitter, Discord, and Patreon. As always, be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And as always, I'm Corrupt Ronin telling you to stay sharp, assassins, and I'll see you next time.